so for today, what is something that you are celebrating?
Oh gosh, I feel like I have so much to be grateful for, to be honest. I wouldn't even know where to start to answer that question. I'm obsessed with my work, and I celebrate that like that I'm so ambitious with the work, that I am so inspired. I'm so incredibly inspired. I have years of work in my head that I hope I can create. So yeah, I'm so celebratory of having inspiration like that. I need to celebrate that my family totally supports me doing this. I need to celebrate that my children get to see me do this and enter this space, and they've seen people react to what I'm doing, and that has been a tremendous gift. And I need to celebrate all of the ways that my work has touched people. No, I thought people would think my stuff is like neat or interesting or even beautiful, but I didn't know that they would feel any emotions with my work. And I do feel like I'm having heart-to-heart conversations with people, right? So when they see my work, they see my heart. And then when they talk to me about their experience with my work, I see theirs. And that has been a huge part of this whole journey for me is people are strangers even are telling me their secrets, right? They're connected to what I did and said. They met me in my vulnerability, in my honesty, in my openness, and felt safe enough to then enter that space with me and show me their journey, right? To tell me their story. And I don't have words to describe the impact. I'm gonna try not to cry, but the impact that has had on my life, right? Like, yeah.
It's powerful, and just to make that difference through the beautiful artwork that you do is amazing. So you mentioned that you had in the family, you have a large family.
Yeah.
So how do you one, get overwhelmed, and two, how do you deal with any overwhelm or stress while still being able to be still creative?
I'm lucky enough that stress doesn't hinder my creative process. It slows it down, if I can't get back to it. But it doesn't clog my head, thank goodness. But I'm experiencing a big learning curve here. And I'll just be vulnerable with you for a second about what it is that, I went from being a stay-at-home mom, and even during doing my studio, I still prioritize my children, which is why the studio, like, I couldn't get it where it needed to be. And so I'm still struggling with that, like, mom guilt.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest stressor for me, is the mom guilt. And even after the success of my first collection, and, we decided that I should pursue this seriously. I should get serious about doing this. I had trouble carving out space in our house. for me to do it. Like I had been working in the kitchen. I don't recommend that if you're working with fabric. So that needed to end. But I really struggled allowing myself to take over space in my house to do what I needed to do. And when I set up my art studio, I gave myself this little cubicle basically. And then I had like, here's where my kids can do their art. And it wasn't until very recently that I was like, you know what? You guys have your own rooms. Like if you can bring art up here and hang out with me, but this is going to be my studio now. And this is my job. You're entering my office, you know?
But it's true, that mom guilt. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. But
and navigating my ambition along with the support I want to give to my children, along with the cooking and the cleaning and the normal things that are usually on my plate in the lifestyle that we've created for ourselves, you know. I kind of wanted to put a big Facebook post out there of like, hey moms, how do you do this? Like, how do you juggle all of these things and feel satisfied at the end of the day that you juggled them in the right way? Like, cause I don't know. I've never entered professional space as a mom. I've never had a career where I treated myself as a professional. It's always been something that I've navigated around my primary life, right? Which is my children and my husband. So I don't know how people do it. I don't know how other professional women get everything done.
I think you're doing what all of us end up doing is we just find time, find a space, carve out the time where you can't, where sometimes the kids are priority, and other times there's some things like, okay, I have a meeting, we have to, here's the boundary, and knowing that, but keeping, knowing that they're still priority. Sometimes are not the first today because of a meeting or something, or event or something, but we still love them.
Yes, but it has been a good, learning curve for me to experience too, that like me nurturing my gifts and talents and having goals for myself is also good for my children.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I had to learn that though.
It's like, no, it's not your turn. Yes, absolutely. And it does help them to know that there's times when no, this isn't it. They are not the center at this moment.
Right.
But they're still good.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I think we all, as parents, we just kind of navigate it and learn as we go, and get inspired by other women, and get support system, and being there. That's always been helpful too. So one more question. And so if you think through the path that you've taken, and especially in the creative space, what would you tell someone who is considering being being an artist, and still, they have family and everything? What would be some tips that you would give them?
Ooh, the first would be give yourself permission to nurture this. The second would be you have to enter it with a lot of patience. And to ask yourself very seriously what your goals are with the work that you're making, and be intentional about the path that you're charting based on what your goals are. There's lots of different ways to be a creative person. And I'm still navigating this. I'm still learning this. You know, I'm still creating the path. So I feel like I really don't have advice for other creatives. I can just share what my experience has been like for me, because it's not like I've, you know, cracked any codes or like, you know, there's a reason that there's not a like how to be an artist book that is meaningful that everybody buys. Like it's really a personal journey. But I guess, you know, I would say to people who are creative that there's always going to be things that will discourage you. There's always going to be obstacles, and there's always going to be things that you will be tempted to let be your no. Mm-hmm. And if you love what you're doing, let that see you through.
That's wonderful. You just gave some wonderful advice and tips. So absolutely. It's been such a pleasure to go in this journey today with you, learn so many things about it. And as I said, I'm an admirer of your work, and I love it. And it's been such a pleasure to have you here to be a part of the Inspiring Women series. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so honored and grateful to share with your community. So thank you.
Thank you.